Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. When I first heard about the shooting at Fort Lauderdale Airport, naturally the first thing that came to my mind was terrorism. But as more information came in, it became clear that that was not the case. Esteban Santiago was simply a person suffering from mental illness. Not long ago, he had turned himself into the FBI, complaining that he was hearing voices and that the CIA was forcing him to watch ISIS videos. And he had the gun with him. The gun that he used in the shooting, which was taken from him by the FBI. They gave the gun to the local police, who took Mr. Santiago to a hospital where he stayed for 72 hours and received some treatment for his mental illness, probably medication and maybe a little bit of counseling. But they could only hold him for 72 hours if he didn't want to stay. So he was discharged and his gun was returned to him by the police. So he had a guy who was clearly and floridly mentally ill, and yet his gun was given back to him. This is a perfect example of how stupid we Americans are, especially when it comes to guns. Two-thirds of America's gun owners don't even put their guns where children can't reach them. That's why a couple of times a week a child is involved in an incident where they either are harmed or harm somebody else with their parents' guns. You can be as crazy as batshit, but there is nothing that will prevent you from owning a gun, having it in your possession, or buying a gun if you want one. Most states in this country are in the hip pocket of the gun lobby, which makes sure that any sensible gun safety rules are never enacted into law. So Esteban Santiago had a legal right to have his gun, even though he was clearly dangerous. He brought his gun with him, put it in his checked baggage, and it was legally with him on the plane, even though it was in the checked baggage. And when he got to Fort Lauderdale, he just simply got the gun out of his luggage, loaded it up, and began his killing spree. And the gun makers, who are more responsible for those deaths than the shooter is, because the shooter was crazy. The gun manufacturers aren't crazy, they're just greedy. And they won't suffer at all. Because after an incident like this, you know what happens? There is a surge in people buying guns. And the gun manufacturers make more money. There is an old quote that says that nobody ever lost money underestimating the intelligence of the American people. That is a fact that is becoming more and more true every day. Thanks for listening.